values. A culture of innovation and collaboration. Achieving a global perspective beyond the classroom. Turning education and theory into practice. Developing lifelong interests and connections, and striving to make a difference in our communities. Marist College.
Welcome, everyone. Big spike Oreo. They have three really hard skins.
Hello, everybody. Welcome one, welcome all to the third season of EGFC. My name is Keela Miles, joined by Soy, and today we are kicking off the fall collegiate season with Marist College taking on Niagara University.
Yeah, this should be a very fun one. I mean, start of season 3, everyone getting those first week jitters out, and we start off with a MAC conference battle, and these two schools have been here since year 1, so a lot of history between these two.
Yeah, Marist College did pretty well last season, if I remember correctly. 10-4, you said, Soy?
10-6 last season, and they actually played Niagara twice last season. Marist got off to a very hot start early, that fall split. They went something along the lines of 6-1, 7-1, I believe, even taking down their rival Siena College in that first split. But it was a tale of two splits for them. That spring split, they started to fall off as they played out-of-conference teams. And Niagara, they had some moments of their own. They went 6-10 last year, but as you mentioned before, this is almost a completely new roster.
Yeah, we talked to Niagara. They are completely fresh-faced. A lot of freshmen, a lot of hot new blood on this team, ready for their first taste of action, and this season of EGFC is where they're going to get it. So we'll see how this new guard fares against Marist College, who kind of had their number last season, but it wasn't that far apart in terms of power difference that I think Niagara can do something here with all these new players.
Yeah, there's a lot of expectations, I think, for both of these rosters. Obviously, when you have a bunch of new faces, you kind of have that melting pot of diversity of, where are we in those standings? We don't really know what we have here on this team yet. But for Marist, I think the expectations are very, very high. This is a team that was in grand finals of season 1, and in season 2, they were in the semifinals of that MAC tournament, but just couldn't get the edge, couldn't get that playoff win in the national bracket either. So we'll have to see how this new roster fares, and they've got a good opening start here against Niagara.
Yeah, and you mentioned the MAC, which both these teams are playing for. They were very hyped for it. Everyone is. The fact that the MAC might be in person this year is fuel for the fire in terms of motivation for these players. They are all amped up for it. You want to qualify as soon as you can, as best you can, and we are actually going to be getting in right away. It's going to be Ike versus a Ganondorf. I believe this is Coldface versus... we're just going to get the names up now, but either way, it's just tough for Ganondorf, let's be honest.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This is one of those matchups where Ike can absolutely run away with this because Ganon really struggles with getting in on Ike. But as you can see, kind of an even start off the bat here, and edge guarding going to be something to watch out for. Crisis is going to have to be very careful. Great air dodge around that neutral B.
Yeah, nice waveland right there, and that gives Crisis a second chance at life. But now you're in another situation just like that. But the patience from Crisis, I actually really like it. Not really going into Crisis mode, but all the buffs that Ganon gets on Wi-Fi with a larger burst range are kind of nullified by the fact that, well, a burst range doesn't mean much when the hitbox is half the stage.
Yeah, right now, that's a good side B. Can't quite get the follow-up. I do like the patience, as you said, but the problem is he's being kept to the corner right now as Coldface lands a forward smash to make it 3-1.
And all it takes is one whiff, and Crisis eating so much damage. Or you get the hit, you're straight into a counter. That's 42% off of a counter, Soy. Now, Crisis sitting on the ledge. They're able to shield that, and thanks to that Wizard's Kick, they're able to get back in. Avoid hitting that counter by the skin of their teeth, but they're caught by the up B. Gonna DI onto stage correctly, but still on your last stock right here. Jumping right into the up B. Clinging to life right now. Trying to avoid getting 3 stock because of the way this score system works, which we will explain after this match. Ooh.
Oh, you're kidding. He baited all of it out? Insane.
Oh man, the Geyser catching Crisis right at the end. And that is going to be a 3 stock, which is going to guarantee them 3 points, because that is the way EGF works, the way we get all 5 players from every team involved. It's going to be a best of 3 set. For every stock that you win with, you get 3 points. And if you win the set, you get 2 points. So that's a maximum of 8 points. And at the moment, Marist College kind of on track to get that.
Yeah, that was a strong showing, to say the least. And that's one of those parts of the matchup that we started to get into, but it's really difficult for Ganon, just in most cases, to get back to stage, especially against a character like Ike, who has so much range and can really, if they just space properly around the ledge, it is so difficult to find a way back if you don't have an easier option or time your get up attack properly. Ganon just really struggles. His disadvantage is just that bad sometimes.
Yeah, especially on the ledge. When Coldface was just sitting there charging an attack, whether it be neutral B, forward smash, there really wasn't a lot that they could do to contest that. Especially on Wi-Fi. Ganon's already so slow. There's no way you're going to be able to skate around that. I mean, maybe with a perfectly timed ledge jump, up B or something, but either way, it's a huge risk. So Crisis just had to stay still, stay put, and that works for avoiding the immediate hit, but then you're straight back into neutral where you're up against that sword.
Yeah, and the other important part of that too is not only are you when you were on ledge, you have limited options, but it also talks to the spacing that Coldface had, because when he was charging those moves, you have to think, okay, that hitbox covers this area, so that eliminates options 1, 2, and 3, and you could tell he was going down the checklist basically of which options to cover.
Yeah, and we did see Crisis banking occasionally on the neutral get up into shield, which did get them through that, but that doesn't work against the fully charged neutral B, I believe. Against the forward smash, yeah, it does get you the punish off of the Wizard's Kick, which is a good opening. So we know one way around that defense. Now, how do you get through all the other things that are stumping you? That is the question that Crisis faces, trying to avoid getting 3 stock, trying to put their team on the board. Niagara University does not want to start off 8-0.
Yeah, and one of the things that I think you look for here, every Ike just loves the short hop nair, right? So if I'm looking to try and break through that, you have to land your spacing just properly to try and get a grab in there. That kind of forces the Ike to think a little bit more about how he wants to approach and how he wants to hold center stage. If they can get some grabs, that is going to be a key factor here in game number 2.
Yeah. Like you said, that nair, getting those grabs. Honestly, as good as parrying the nair is, it's kind of hard to do online. And so I'm not going to ask too much from Niagara University right now, but even just finding ways to get underneath and shield. Ganondorf's up B out of shield when Ike is landing right on top of you is not a terrible punish. Plus it puts Ike in disadvantage, forces them to pick an option, and Ike's options, while they are fast, they're not that fast, so you can usually get a punish if they whiff.
Yeah, and on top of that too, I believe the up B does a decent amount of damage, so you get the extra damage on top of that. And again, when every single stock matters, that damage is so important.
Oh, for sure, Soy. As now we're faced with the idea of where do you end up going. It looks like it's going to be Smashville. Honestly, I don't hate this, because having distance can be a good thing, but I think it's closing the distance that is the issue for Crisis. So just take away some of the length. There's nothing there. I mean, Smashville, it's very easy to get underneath your opponent if they're just spamming aerials, like at times Coldface was.
Yeah, no, on top of that, you have that platform to kind of mess around with in case, you know, they misspace their jump. Instead of short hopping, they do a full hop or something along those lines. You have that platform to kind of play around with. But overall, it's like you said, you just got to find a way in on the Ike, and that is really the struggle. It's one of the things that makes Ike such a good character in this game, is that it's really hard to approach this character. And then once they land that one combo, once they land that nair, it's basically up to whatever they feel like to throw out the next aerial, and they just continue to rack up damage.
Now, there is one key factor that we are ignoring, that when asked about their character, it was not just Ganondorf, period. It was Ganondorf with a question mark. So I do think there are some counter picks that could be pulled out, but we can't really speculate on that because, again, this is the first match of the third season of Collegiate, and these are all new players. We have nothing to go on Crisis. I'm hoping that there's an identity crisis somewhere in there and they're gonna go a different character because, listen, anything can work online, but specifically against Ike, I feel like it's so much harder to utilize online's extended burst range, you know?
Yeah, no, Ganon into Ike is definitely a tough matchup for the Ganon, but I mean, it is doable. And, you know, speaking of characters, we know that Coldface, he might feel like, hey, I got a 3-stock here in this first game. He might be feeling confident enough to change it up and go with another character of his own.
All right, so now we are just figuring out a couple things with stage selection. Oh, never mind. We are right back into it. Took a minute to get the arena back up there, folks, but I appreciate your patience sticking with us because now we are finally on Smashville for the run back as Crisis tries to find a way in on this smaller stage.
Oh boy, that first forward smash did 30%. That's a lot. And the nair, this is, oh wow, 3 heavy hits already. This Ike is at kill percent.
Yeah, a couple of hard reads right now, and pull the trigger a little early on that neutral B. Don't want to commit completely to that option when Crisis shows they have a way around that. The up smash out of shield does catch Coldface there. Now, on the ledge, that's an up B to just grab on. They try to take back center stage with that nair, but they're caught out by the air choke. Now, going around that forward smash. Ganon's got a very similar one, arguably a more famous one, so you know Crisis knows how to get around that, and they're able to get off ledge too.
Coldface is doing a very good job of playing defensive, you know, just making it so difficult for Ganon to get in, but that's well spaced around that up B. Great back air to clean it up, and immediately tied back up with a dash attack.
Yeah, now 1-1. Crisis. Oh! Using the taunt to bait them in and getting the grab. It converts that into 59%. Coldface with the presence of mind to short hop above that up tilt, but now you're at a serious deficit against Ganon. One wrong move right here, and you're done for. Not going to get the punish on that Wizard's Kick, but eventually get the up tilt out of shield. Now the down throw doesn't set up for a tech chase quite yet, and because of that, Crisis is going to get punished. Now sent off stage, no jump. They're able to snap the ledge though with that up B, and the get up attack actually reaches to get rid of the neutral B.
Great spacing on that get up attack, and now both of them at fairly high percents. Obviously Ike in a little bit more trouble than Ganon, and they have to play so careful. It feels like just whoever is going in is losing the battle because they're hitting a shield and getting punished.
Now Coldface has managed to claw their way back into this stock, and they're not going to be caught unawares by that Randy Wizard's Foot again. Gonna get the up B punish now, and with the up smash not even breaking shield, now it's getting a little more dicey for Crisis.
That dash attack from Ganon will certainly kill soon. That's a great nair, but Coldface still with his jump. Just a little bit of a miss space with that forward smash, and Ike is back to stage.
Down smash not going to be punished. Not that much lag on that, but Nair into the back air. Going to be an easy 36%. Converted into even more after that air dodge read. Now, Zuck just swinging away. Crisis stuck in disadvantage. Able to get the stomp off the ledge. That up smash just a tad too slow to really get a punish on that one. And the wherewithal to avoid getting hit by that. Now, 96%. Still doable for Ganondorf. You can kill off of 3 hits, but now you're on ledge.
This is definitely what we talked about earlier, a tough place to get back from. Great job spacing properly, getting back to ledge and getting that dash, or get up attack. But that up B, that's going to kill the next time it lands. So Crisis is on death's door here.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good early start there. 79%. 1 read away, but 1 read away is all Coldface was too, saying, all right, I know you're desperate. I know you want that 1 hit, that 1 kill move. Hit me with it. Come on. I double dog dare you. And that's exactly what Crisis did. Smacking the forward smash straight into Coldface's counter and giving up the game to Marist College. Now 6 points on the board. A great early start for them.
Yeah, fantastic stuff to Coldface there. I mean, that game was a lot closer, you saw, very much so back and forth. But, I mean, Coldface, really, I think the difference maker was that he could kind of control the neutral a bit more. Still, once Crisis got in, you could see how much damage he could do. I mean, just every single smash attack he landed was worth 20-30%. And Ganon only needs those few hits in order to kill. But at the end of the day, just playing a little bit more defensive, letting your opponent come to you and make mistakes was all Coldface needed to take the advantage.
Yeah, and when you're getting comebacked upon, it's easy to just mash options and not really think about what is about to happen. But the same is true when you're making a comeback. It's a crazy rush of momentum that gets to your head. And I feel like that's what happened a bit. That forward smash right there, it was all or nothing. And Ganon does have other options right there. The Nair, for a while, was considered to be one of the best Nairs in Ultimate. Not quite true anymore, but still at a tremendously safe, tremendously good move that might have even caught them before the counter came out. There was a lot that they could have done safer. Maybe not go for the big play, but still go for a play that would keep you in the game instead of hitting that counter.
Yeah, and I think you could kind of tell Coldface was, like you said, catching on to it too, because Ganon has such powerful hits. He knows that if I just hold that counter in my back pocket instead of, using it early like we saw in game number 1, he might be able to secure that stock. And like you said, there are so many options in that specific scenario for Crisis to use. Maybe just waiting a little bit, being a bit more patient, could have paid off for him.
Yeah, and now, with the next players coming in, we are beginning to see a bit of a theme in Niagara University. We saw it before the stream too. It's going to be Crispy coming in for them. An Incineroar player, a different heavy, different mechanics, but same general problems. A little bit better at abusing the burst range that online gives you. There's less time to react to those super heavy hitting options, but it's still going to be tough, Yeah, it always is. But I, to be honest, I have a little more faith in Incineroar as a character.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, the heavies all have that problem of they can deal out damage very quickly in just a few hits, but their disadvantages is just atrocious at times. And Incineroar definitely suffers from that with a weak recovery. On the other hand, if they only need those few hits, they can just play for that type of style. So we'll have to see, how they decide to play. Do they try and be aggressive and get those few chunky hits early, or do they play defensive and wait and bait out their opponent?
Yeah, and here is where it gets to me, because Incineroar against someone who doesn't approach as much is going to be tough. Now, if Chimmy is going a little bit mashier, going for these big combos, then you might get the chance to get the revenge, get some early kills, but catching the landing right there is going to be tough. Going to avoid it thanks to the minecart, and now Jimmy just tries to bait them in with the mine. It's going to be a little bit slower paced as they try to figure this out.
That's unfortunate. I think that was a buffered side B towards the ledge there, which is unfortunate, but this is the other portion of the matchup that I'm curious about. Oh, look at the combos here from Chimmy, but this is where I think it plays to Steve's advantage, is that being able to play around with these blocks and get these combos means that Steve is just in control of the pace of the matchup through the majority of the match.
Now Crispy, who is that Incineroar player, is now going to knock him off the stage. Actually, not great DI on that dash attack is going to kill, and now you've got Diamond Tools, but you also got to stock up. Oh, landing right on the fire, and that's going to be tough. The aerial smash attacks are something not every Steve player uses, so you're not always capable with them. Laddering them up, 84% already. Oh man, and they're down in the blast zone. There's no escaping that. Shimmy, what was that? All right, turning up the tempo in an instant and stealing away that final stock. 2 points on the board for Marist.
You couldn't see it, but my jaw dropped. I was not sure he was going to get that spike, but that is a huge read on the early side B and just a fantastic play. I mean, you think maybe after he loses that stock to dash attack, he goes, oh, okay, I'm a little shook. All right, it's a 2-stock game, but no, just immediately comes back from platform and gets that nice 80% combo and cleans it up with the spike. That was fantastic stuff from Marist.
Yeah, truly incredible. And now, like, again, as I was saying, based on the early play coming out from Chimmy, I wasn't really sure what to expect from their Steve, because it's such a versatile character. You can do your trickery, you can do your camping, and you have the crazy combos. And it looked like they were more interested in baiting in Crispy and then dealing out, like, just a little bit of punishment. You know, just 40%, just 2 hits. What Steve does best. But then out of nowhere, they catch the up tilt. And that's the go button for them. It's the way they were able to turn on a heel like that. I hope it was just a warm-up that first little bit, because if they come in swinging like that, they might get 3 points on the board plus 2 more by 3-stocking that Incineroar. But I don't think Crispy is completely out of it yet.
No, not at all. I think Crispy, we saw they were able to get a stock, and it was mostly because one of the things about this matchup that I think most characters struggle with is that kind of block placement, right? The ability to kind of wall off your opponent. But you saw that Incineroar is just short enough with that dash attack to get underneath some of those block placements. So if they can find a way to properly space around those, they've got a shot here at taking some early stocks. But the problem is that Steve is one of those characters that has that ability to just kind of camp you out if need be. So this is kind of a cat and mouse game for Crispy.
Yeah, and literally cat and mouse right now. I'm kind of curious on how, if Crispy wants to slow the pace of the game down at all, because Chimmy really had their number at times, especially with that call out at the end. You're gonna have to think really carefully about what options you're picking getting back to ledge now, as once again, it's a heavy on what could be their last game of the day. Going to be starting out on small battlefield here, which I do like. It lets you get a little bit better control of center stage, but still kind of tough. Not really able to get a clean hit right there, as they're forced to forward tilt to even get through those blocks. They land a dash attack, but now trying to punish that block placement, you go right into the anvil, showing that Shimmy definitely has some traps up their sleeves. Ooh, that hurts.
Yeah, unfortunate misspacing there of the up B, but I mean, Incineroar, your options are limited down there, and that's actually not going to be enough to get back to stage. There's too much end lag on that counter, and all of a sudden, it's 3-1, and the combos are still going.
It's almost under 2 minutes. You can't let this happen. Like, Crispy, they can't get anything. They get spiked, and as Incineroar going to get back, he can't get the air dodge to ledge. It's over. What? Please tell me I have the rule set wrong. Was that under a minute? Are we on a 7-minute timer?
I think that was under a minute, and that was by far and away, I think, the most dominating performance by a single player in the EGF. I think that was one of the fastest 3 stocks we've seen in EGF history right there. So if there was any indication that Marist is here to play, it was that set right there.
You know how, like, every commentator from high level to low level, when they see a heavy on screen, they say, well, in theory, you should just be able to punish them for their slow options, for their lack of movement. And then it doesn't usually happen. Jimmy finally sets the record straight, showing, okay, here is how you play against a heavy who doesn't quite have their defensive options in check, as Crispy just got ran over. That one stock in game 1, it was nothing. They were just getting red. And then going into that, it's just a downhill. That's why you see those under a minute games, because once you lose those first 2 stocks so quickly, you're going for anything. You want anything to work. You saw just a random forward smash not even facing Chimmy on stage. That's what Crispy was going for. That was the option, because you've tried everything else, and everything else got your stock taken. So what else are you going to do?
Yeah, you could start to see, especially in that second stock, kind of the desperation of trying to get an opening. You know, we talked about it too with Ganondorf, you know, how just 1 or 2 hits are all you really need. But when you start fishing for those hits off of stock 1, that's how you know you are in the head of your opponent. If that's how they're going to play right off of Halo, it was really, you know, a commanding set there. And on top of that, I really love just the ability to, you know, like you said, find that go button. Just the second they find that one move, it is off to the races, a quick 60 to 80% out of seemingly nowhere, and it turns the entire momentum of the set when you get a combo like that.
Yeah, having your punish game so locked down that even through online, even through buffer system, you're able to just consistently hit the punishes off of your starters. That's something you don't see in a lot of players, unfortunately. Like, a lot of their combos, they're more strings than combos. It did not feel like that for Chimmy. Chimmy knows their sauce, and they know it well. So we're going to be seeing where we're going next. Who is coming in next for the sides? Try and turn this around for Niagara. It's going to be Relaxed versus Jenny at EXE. Now, playing in Pokemon Stadium 2, it's going to be Greninja versus Corrin, which I actually don't think is a terrible matchup comparatively to what we've seen.
I mean,
Jenny.exe.
Yeah, no, this
opening up.
This is a matchup we really don't see all that often. Corrin is a character we haven't seen a ton of, and there's only a few Greninjas here in the EGF overall, so I'm very curious to see what these two characters can do here.
And Jenny.exe, their game plan seems to be control center stage no matter what. Trying to up B, just get back there, but there's too much lag on that. Only going to get the soft spot of up smash, so they're safe for now. And trading 1 for 1. They're exactly even right now. But punishing that dash dance with the forward smash. Now you're going to be caught by the jab. That's it. Stabbed right through and set into the blast zone. Now, Lex down a stock.
Sweet spot of that side B was all Jenny needed to take that first stock. Well spaced, well done to her. And on top of that, now you've got that lead. You can start to rack up a little bit of that extra credit. Ooh, not if you air dodge in like that. Well read by Relax.
And after they had punished Jenny.exe's punish game so much, of course they're going to try and air dodge. It's another option that they can try. But that up B, again, very optimistic. I'm wondering what they're thinking with that, is now that's just a free punish against Greninja, a character who not only is great at tech chasing, as you can see, but has a great punisher if you're able to just hit one down tilt, one dash tag.
That up B on stage is something that we see a lot of other characters do, but Corrin is not typically one that we see it do a lot of, and now you can tell those up Bs are being punished. It's already up to 130% for Jenny.
And blending there, almost sent Jenny back off, but they're able to retake stage. Now you have the opportunity to ledge trap, but again, giving up that opportunity just to hold center stage. Center stage is a good thing, don't get me wrong, but when you place it above all else, it makes you totally predictable.
Yeah, and you're seeing Relax take full advantage of it too. I love that the crouch underneath the forward smash to avoid the hitbox. Abusing that crouch is fantastic stuff from Relax.
Sending them across the stage now. Jenny.exe off. Oh, is that it? Oh! You didn't have to. I don't think they were grabbing ledge anyway. But nailing the sweet spot of that down smash to finish off the stock is just a good bit of momentum to put you into the future games right here. Just really, really phenomenal turnaround coming out.
Yeah, that felt like a very confident game from Relax. Typically, if it's your first time on stream, you might get that first round jitters. It felt like he had played this game to a T before. It felt like he knew that matchup and he knew exactly what he wanted to do.
Yeah. They didn't get the biggest of combos at times, but they had the game plan figured out pretty quickly. A big zoner with a sword in center stage is a terrifying thing, but sometimes controlling the platforms, and specifically underneath the platforms in Ultimate, is much better, because controlling the platforms, it gives you a degree of defense that you don't always have everywhere else, especially against a character who likes to land on you with aerials, like Jenny.exe was.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like you said, sticking to your game plan can make you a little bit predictable. You have to be able to flex yourself a little bit. And all of those air dodges in, I think, thinking back to that air dodge read, that was really a telltale sign of, okay, I've got the download for this first set. Let's see if you can adapt here in game 2.
Sometimes all you need is that second stage to get yourself a little bit more momentum, as we're going on to Town and City. This big stage, it's going to give you more room to work with, and that's what Jenny.exe is banking on. But Greninja, with such amazing ground speed, doesn't really care all that much about that. Going very low right there, going to be just fine. Sent off stage with the forward smash, but too low percent to really get trapped, as now we're taking center stage, but there's no platform to hang out under right there. Dash attack's gonna be punished with a grab, and off stage is where we've seen so much mileage. But now you're getting a little cheeky with that down air.
Still solid punish on that down smash though. And I feel like, again, Relax is just playing with a certain amount of confidence to him, just knowing when to go in and what he can get off of certain moves, like up throw, immediately going for that up air. Gets the drag down here into that jab. And we've seen Relax a couple times now dip real low for that forward air and that down air, really wanting those edge guards.
Now, gonna survive for now. Getting that side B to really give yourself a percent advantage, but landing like that, oof. I really like that jump read with the Shadow Sneak. Up in the air, it's really hard to tell that they're even going for that option. The early air dodge is going to save them from being killed, and Jenny.exe holds the center stage. Strong, stalwart, but stagnant at times. And, well, it does afford them the offstage game right now. Going for the long-range punish with that forward smash. Covers a lot, kind of like Byleth edge trapping, but not quite as consistent as you can see. Relax able to get right on through it, and now they're just fishing for that kill. Off the grab, getting them off stage. Oh, is that it? Yeah, caught by the shuriken. There's no getting out of that one.
And there really wasn't too much that Jenny could have done other than a little bit earlier of an up B, but the second that jump was burned, you knew that Relax was sending out that shuriken.
Yeah, and now you're being juggled. Corrin, not the greatest landing options. Goes for that super strong counter, but, well, just good awareness from Relax, who's on pace to get this 3-stock now. We have Jenny off stage. A slow walk forward. Oh no! But they're able to drop shield and get the counter. Just a little bit of hesitation right there from Relax. He's gonna get a stock off. You're able to convert that into an up tilt. What else can you get from it? Getting the juggle right now. Jenny.exe might actually be able to get a stock with the correct read.
She's dipping real far for a couple of these hits though. Really wants that side B. Gonna land another. And if you land a strong hit here, it could kill, but you can't afford to get too greedy. Relax has done a great job of punishing, and speaking of, punishes the roll in.
Relax knew. standing there calm and relaxed, dead center stage, just waiting, daring, with their fastest option right on their hip, waiting to draw. And that's exactly what they did. Getting that down smash, which has been their staple for getting kills for so long. Really, really excellent stuff from Relax. Especially when, like I said, when you're in that last stock situation and all it is stay chill, get the kill, you can get a little riled. You can let it get down to last stock before you're able to finish them off. Relax, though, didn't let it run away quite that far that time.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that win, that's 3 sets down for the side of Niagara, which means that the most points Niagara can get back to right now, assuming they play perfect, is 16. So the win here in week 1 will go to the Marist Red Foxes. So congrats to them. But we will still play out these last 2 sets for down the line. We keep track of that point differential as a tiebreaker statistic in the standings. So we will be playing out these last 2 sets. But still, congrats to the Marist Red Foxes.
Yeah, certainly earning their spot right there with some truly dominant performances, especially from, like, it was a strong neutral game coming out from the likes of Relax, but Shimmy showing the versatility. A strong Steve player is a scary thing indeed, Soy. And off of that opening, oh man, this is setting the tone for Marist going forward. They are not a pushover like they weren't last year, but they did not get soft in the offseason.
No, absolutely. This team looks ready to go. Just it typically feels like week 1, you might have some early shakes, but this team has hit the ground running and in the best way possible. You can tell how confident they feel in their gameplay.
And we're going to be seeing a Greninja of their own now in the form of Percy, I believe, coming out from Niagara. But now you're going up against the captain himself, Zucchini. And if I remember correctly, Zucchini is a dinosaur player, playing both Bowser and Ridley, which, again, theoretically not the greatest of picks, but when you're the team captain and you're repping a heavy like that, especially a good heavy like Ridley and Bowser, can be a little okay. Maybe just using them as practice for a new character who we did not know about. Rob coming out now for Zucchini.
Yeah, and Zucchini has been here since year 1. He knows this format well, and he's got a lot of experience too. So this is going to be a tall task to come back in this one for Niagara. If they can get something going here, as already Zucchini controlling the pace of play here, up 70%.
Yeah. Able to use the counter to disrupt that momentum for just a tiny bit, but look how fast Zucchini is moving. Not giving them a moment to breathe. To the point where it feels like they can't even find a way in. Zucchini now underneath. Look at this. They're consistently underneath the Greninja no matter what. And not scared of that down air either, because the hitbox deceptively small. You would not guess how small that hitbox is. And even though they're able to get a couple hits in here, the side of Niagara Esports. Ooh. But the movement isn't quite as clean for Zucchini as it could be on this secondary. They're able to get the early percent kills, but finally, the back air does do it. Spacing itself for you, getting that kill. And now you can get back to the low percent shenanigans.
Yeah, Zucchini's doing a great job at winning this game in the early percents. So that's going to be a lot of damage. And this could be another edge guard here, but Percy, that might be a little bit too low. Wanted to throw out that extra hitbox and unfortunately just dipped a little bit too low. But that's something that Percy's going to have to work on. You can't throw out such committal options even when you're on stage. You got to find a way to get to those combos that Greninja really thrives off of.
Some nice bread and butters right here from Zucchini. Gonna get the jabs, reset this a bit, and this is how you control center stage aggressively. Make them want to come to you and then smack them right back. Don't just sit there because it's the optimal place to be. That Pokeball is Zucchini's home, and they are making Percy so uncomfortable as they try and break in. Finally, the Shadow Sneak is going to get a stock, but at this percent, it's not looking great for them. Ooh. And that's game.
Yeah, that side B is surprisingly strong. It doesn't look like a strong hitbox when it first hits you, and then you realize how much percent you've taken and how much knockback it does, and you go, oh no. But great stuff there to Zucchini, cleaning up that stock and getting that 2-stock victory over Percy. And like we said, Zucchini's an experienced veteran at this point. He is no, stranger to the scene, and he showed it in that match.
Oh, for certain, for certain. Zucchini now has another match, because remember, this is best of 3. I'm curious. I think, like I said, that might have just been practice on a secondary, because once you've already won, you've got to use these tournament scenarios to their greatest effectiveness. As we are not going back to PS2, Zucchini has, in fact, banned that. And instead, looks like we're going to Final Destination, which is a bit odd for Greninja, who loves those drag downs. But Greninja, you also have to remember, has one of the fastest ground speeds in the game. So maybe they just want no platforms in the way whatsoever. They just want to get in there and box it out with Rob, which is tough, but definitely something Greninja is capable of with one of the best down tilts in the game.
And on top of that, too, we talked about how Greninja is one of those combo-esque characters, and you have to find a way to get in order to do those combos, which he really struggled on that last match on PS2. So eliminating those platforms altogether might force those closer interactions, which might allow Percy more chances to start up those combos.
But there, that down tilt right there, the spacing. We talked about one of the best down tilts in the game. I forgot they were facing Rob. I mean, come on. Now, with that poking tool out of the way, and carrying them off the stage with the side B too, that is one of the reasons it's one of the best kill moves in the game, because it carries you closer to the blast zone before it kills you. Now, the early percent pop out of the bury. They're going to get the grab off of that too. Look at this. They're not getting the true combos off of the down throw because it doesn't bury quite yet. But it doesn't matter because they wait for Percy to be above them and then punish them. Zucchini just well-versed in the neutral.
And Percy has thrown out a lot of these side Bs and down airs, just trying to call out where Zucchini is going to be. But Zucchini is starting to catch on. You can see he's spacing around. He's using these projectiles, calling out where Percy's going to be. And this is where things get really dangerous for Percy.
Now, jumping right into that aerial side B. Zucchini is going to have a little trouble getting off a ledge, but that shadow sneak, it's so punishable. And when you have that much lag, it's an open invitation for Rob to use their side B, which it's a little bit more mileage off of than Greninja does.
That shadow sneak almost killing Zucchini. Great DI from him to survive there at a little bit of a earlier percent than your Rob typically dies at. But we'll see if Percy can clean this up or if he will just eat a few more of these side Bs. No. Another one being landed here, and now he's off stage.
Don't do it to him. I think they're trying to win with only side B. That's the only explanation I can see for what is going on here. But they disprove me right away and show that maybe it's just a good move. Maybe that's why you're using it so much. Catching them with the last hit right there. Now, going for the aggressive ledge trapping option with the charge down smash, but it's not going to pay off, Soy.
No, and you can tell Percy's kind of lost here. He's still hunting for these down airs, hunting for these side Bs, and the side B will, or at least should, kill at this percent, especially if he lands it on the ledge. But again, Percy, he's just struggling to track down where Zucchini's going to be.
And after approaching with those side Bs for so long, now Zucchini slows the pace of the game down a bit, makes Percy a little frustrated, and, well, slowing it down too much does up the stock, and that's a valuable point in your favor for those point differentials later in the season. But either way, it's still looking like a pretty done deal for Zucchini. As now get the laser, and off stage they go. No worry at all. You got 2 stocks, you got the lead, you got the win anyway. Zucchini is happy to go deep with the helicopter, finish off Percy, and add some more points on the board. 4 more points to be precise, bringing Marist College up to 25.
Yeah, that's fantastic stuff. And on top of that, it really shows how versatile Zucchini is, because we talked about how he typically goes with these heavy characters, you know, when he's on the big stage like this. But to go with Rob and to have such mastery of it, to use that side, to know the spacing of that side B, especially off stage, because that's one of those moves where you fall as you use it. That's just fantastic stuff, and that's another key piece of information that teams down the line, they'll have to note, okay, we may not be going up against this heavy. He's got that Rob in his pocket. We'll have to worry about that for later.
Yeah, and now we're going to be seeing the team captain of Niagara University trying their darndest to get just 1 point on the board. And, well, keeping with our theme, it's going to be one last heavy coming in. It's going to be DK or Bowser, and, I mean, I gotta prefer Bowser since he's higher in the tier list, and Bowser with a 3-frame short jump squat is a truly terrifying thing indeed. But if you're more comfortable on DK, the true punishes that DK has, sometimes you just gotta go for him. Like, sometimes you just gotta let it rip.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Bowser is a character that we've seen numerous times here in the EGF, and a lot of them have a lot of success. Their win rates are above 50% here in the EGF, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it. Donkey Kong is a character, though, that we don't see a lot of in the EGF, and mostly because of a matchup like this, where it is just so difficult for DK to get in.
And Marist sending out Luke, playing Sephiroth. This is a new player, I believe, because I don't recognize Luke in the slightest, but if they earn their way onto a team of heavy hitters like this, they can't be too bad, as they're able to punish the attempt at a down B with that flare. Now, they're just going to abuse the lack of landing options from DK. Falling up air would have been a great combo starter at an earlier percent, but knocking the light Sephiroth so high up. Jumping above that up B, though, Boshikupa, definite chance. A lot cleaner heavy play we're seeing right here than a lot of the other players on their team, showing how they got to be that captain. But in the end, it doesn't matter too much, as you are still going to eat that up smash with the wing that's going to kill.
Great job by Luke landing that down smash. We saw Luke a little bit last year. He was only in for a short, like less than a handful of weeks, but when he was in, he could do some damage, and you can see he's already making some damage happen here on Boshikupa. That's going to be the counter. Is that going to be the kill? Not quite yet, but DK can't make it back to ledge, and so the stock is forfeit either way. It's 3-1 in Luke's favor.
And now Boshikupa going to bait them in by charging that neutral special, and then the giant punch is canceled into the back air. That is going to be a little bit of percent and control of center stage right here, and again, a lot cleaner controlling center stage, making Luke uncomfortable, making them come in, but then Luke just comes in because of the massive hitboxes that DK just can't contest, and with the off-stage up B carrying them up into the corner, that's going to be it. A 3-stock from Luke, putting even more points to their team's favor, just when I thought that Niagara might have a chance.
And that was just a call out there. I mean, when you're DK off stage, again, you don't really have many options. And you could see Luke was just all over it. Between that up B to finish off the game and the counter beforehand, you knew that Luke knew how to abuse this matchup. Sephiroth just makes it so difficult for the big, heavy Donkey Kong to get in and do damage.
Oh, for sure, Soy. And now going into what could be our last game of this set, I think Boshikupa has some good options here. I saw some rays of light. It was just hard to say after a 3-stock, but I really did. Some really clean play, but then it just ran away from them. They held center stage really well until there was one opening and they just got carried off the stage. Like, it's a lot of it was good, but it wasn't good enough. I think there's room to be good enough, but maybe not this week. Maybe coming into future weeks, it will be good enough. It'll be better than enough and get them the wins. But I'm not sure that improvement is going to happen right here this second, Soy.
Right, and remember, this is Boshikupa's first match in the EGF, so maybe they're getting their stream jitters out of the way here too. I mean, Luke is someone who we saw, in this set in particular, just the Sephiroth looked clean, right? Just knowing what combos you can get, the grab to back air, the grab to forward air, and just knowing when to kind of back off too, and knowing, when you can afford to pull back and just see what Boshikupa will do next.
Now, going to be caught by that flare right here, but playing a little bit more patient. Boshikupa going in again. I love using charging neutral specials as a bait, which is what Boshikupa tried to do right there, but they're caught by that side B. Able to use legend vulnerability though to avoid the follow-up. Now, going to be trying to land towards center stage. Shield almost broken right there, but now you're faced with the opportunity. How do you land against Sephiroth? You got the spike, but it's tech. That means you can't get that much of a punish off of the Boshikupa now. Trying to land on top of Sephiroth. Sephiroth? We're talking about the same character right here.
Yeah, no, this is, landing on Sephiroth is just near impossible, it feels like, at points, and Luke just doing such a good job of spacing it. Boshikupa doing a good job of staying alive, though, shielding that up B. This could be an opening for him.
Yeah, if you're able to get the stock right here, that kind of undoes all the lost neutral in the beginning. As they're just trying to avoid that flare. They have to air dodge up, though, give up so much stage, just walking forward menacingly. Oh my gosh, Luke. Now the cargo throw up. The wing makes it so difficult to catch that landing. Look at that, the increased momentum, the double jumps. It's enough, but Luke is still able to stay in this. Avoid the forward smash and rolling back to avoid the down smash punish. Now the up smash out of shield does actually afford Boshikupa the stock and the lead until they land into that up tilt.
Yeah, again, Boshikupa just spending too much time above Sephiroth, but that was a good job taking that first stock. That is one of the advantages of Donkey Kong in this matchup, is that they can kill Sephiroth fairly early. They are one of the lighter characters on the roster, and of course, Donkey Kong hits like a truck.
Yeah, but just like a truck, some trouble steering, some trouble getting in for precise movements. And while Boshikupa is trying to carefully reposition with these short hops around the platforms, it's again just putting you in disadvantage above Luke, who's getting the advantage off of it more often than not. And even though it seems like Luke has been struggling to kill at times, they're starting to get an even better read on Boshikupa's habits.
Great dash back there by Luke to land that forward tilt, and there's just so much that Boshikupa has to deal with, including this neutral beyond ledge. That's not a safe get up. No options left in the tank for him, and he's on his last stock.
Yeah, dash attack, sets up a tech chase on platform, but doesn't quite get the back air follow-up. Those jitters kind of getting to him. Now, again, it feels like most of their combo starters are landing on top of Sephiroth, which is tough, because when you're just eating bread and butters like this, 3-hit combos that do 40% over and over, it's a little scary, and they don't want to deal with it anymore. But you forget, that up B does not spike. That's no wolf right there. So now, it does give Boshikupa an opportunity right here. One more stock, one more life in this.
Luke trying to end this one in style. Can he do it? That up smash won't land in an opening here, but the counter will reset the scenario once more. This is where Boshikupa has struggled. Can't hang on to that ledge while that up B floats above you. Lost the ledge invincibility, and that down air is just too good. Luke cleans up the match.
Yeah, the plunge cleaving right through that spinning recovery, and that's going to be it for Marist College versus Niagara University. There's nothing we can say except dominance right there. 31 points. That's as close to perfection as most teams ever come right there. And even though you're facing a new team, even though you're facing these players who still have their jitters, it takes clean play to not drop anything the entire time.
Yeah, pitching a shutout week 1 is a statement to the rest of the league that the Red Foxes are here to play. They are not messing around. And, I mean, you saw, they looked clean. I mean, from set 1 to set 5, these guys were on top of these matchups. They knew what they wanted to do, and they executed.
Yeah, and overall, looking back, I feel like we got a look at a lot of different, very good play styles coming out from Marist. You got the more combo-heavy, shutout sort of styles that we saw from players like Chimmy, who, when you have really, really good heavy hitters coming in, players who play characters like Bowser but dominate on them, having a player with a strong punish game who doesn't care about interacting or neutral or anything like that, they just need the one hit to get the kill, that's important right there. But then you do have more neutral-based players, like we saw in the form of Zucchini.
Yeah, no, having that variety is definitely something to look at as the league continues on, because having that variety is one of the keys for a lot of these top tier teams that could kind of counterpick different matchups and get those matchups that they wanted. And Marist definitely got everything they wanted out of this set here.
Yeah, and now moving forward, Marist said they have their eyes on the MAC. They said they're always a more LAN-focused team. Based off of how they've been grinding, I think they've got a pretty good shot at that LAN. The question is what you're going to do with it. That is always the question. And we might get a bit more of an opportunity to learn about that motivation, the MAC, and that dominant performance, because we are going to get an interview coming up very soon with a member of Marist College, most likely. Just getting those last few checks out before I say anything definitive, but we're going to go to a quick break. When we return, we will most likely be back with an interview, learn a little bit more about what was going on inside Marist's head. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back. EGF will continue. Welcome back, everybody, to the inaugural game of EGFC. We're just here after the conclusion with the captain of the winning team, Zucchini. How you doing, Zucchini?
Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm doing just fine. My team is doing fine. We're vibing out here.
Hey, I'm glad to hear that. And speaking of your team that you're all vibing with, are you all playing together right now? Is that how you're kind of keeping the morale up, even though you didn't really need it in that match in particular?
We're all in the same room, on the same setup and everything.
Yeah, that's always good to hear. Good to build that sense of community now that you physically can.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I got a question for you, Zucchini. What do you think is your biggest strength as a team this year?
You know what? This is going to sound pretty funny. I think our biggest strength this year is that we get to practice offline together again. Because once we dedicate ourselves to practicing this game, we feel like we can beat anybody in the EGF. So that's a big motivating factor for us.
Yeah. Before the season, you had told me you're a more LAN-focused team, and you've got your eyes on that offline MAC later I think next year, rather. So, tell me. After this opening performance, after this first test, how's your prospects looking right there?
Oh, we're looking fire right now. We're looking real good. I think I think we're putting up a pretty good performance.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was too bad. I wouldn't say that at all.
Yeah, 31-0 is one of the highest, I think, in the history of the EGF. It's Marist's highest deficit or margin of victory, I should say, in your guys' history. So congratulations on that. I have a more personal question, because we were talking about how you mainly go with heavier characters like a Ridley or a Bowser, but you went Rob this match, and so I'm kind of curious, what went into your mind in terms of a character pick? How do you settle on those characters?
Okay, so first of all, where the Rob comes from, I've been playing that character since Smash 4. So he was like my pre-DLC main in Smash 4, pretty much. So I've been playing the character since then. So I've just always had him in the back pocket. My mindset going into this was A, we're ahead, and B, it's online. So that's why we're going Rob.
All right. Hey, listen. Sometimes you just got to have fun, and that's what the game is all about in the end. So thank you very much, and I do have one final question for you.
Shoot your shot.
You have fun today? Because you told me before you're just looking to have fun and get some wins along the way.
Hell yeah, baby. We're having fun. Yeah, we're having fun.
Always good to hear. Always good to hear it. And thank you again so much for giving us a little bit more insight into your team's mentality, into your mentality. And I wish you the best of luck going forward.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Zucchini. And with that, we are going to be wrapping up this first game, but don't go anywhere because remember, 3 more matches coming up later today on EGF and plenty more on the other channels if you get bored during the break. So don't go anywhere. We will be back later today with more Super Smash Bros. Action.